balance. What is it and how to set it? What's up YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. On this channel we talk about everything to do with food photography, so if that interests you then click subscribe down below. If you have watched some of my videos before, you may have heard me mention white balance. And you may have thought, fair enough Amy, but what is white balance? In this video I'm going to tell you exactly what white balance is, how to set it, and how you can set up your own custom white balance. The reason I bang on about white balance quite a lot is because it's controlling how your camera sees the colour in light. And colour is obviously a big part in photography, especially food photography. One of the main things we take pictures of food for is to make it look appetising. And if the colours are off, this could make it look very unappetizing. If you walked into a shop and the cheese had a blue tint to it, you're probably not going to pick that cheese. It's really important in food photography to get those colours spot on, to make that food look delicious, that you could just take it from the screen and eat it. First of all, let me discuss exactly what white balance is. So white balance is just a setting on your camera that controls how your camera reads the colour in light. That is the easiest way I can describe it to you. So lights have different temperatures, or they're measured in Kelvin. You might go outside and it's daylight and you're taking pictures and everything looks fine, it all looks like the right colours, the whites look white. But when you go inside and you take the same picture with the same white balance setting, to your eyes the room looks completely fine, white will still look white and everything looks normal. But when you look at your camera, it's bright orange. This is because unlike our eyes, the camera needs a setting to control how it reads the colour in light. Room lights are normally quite a yellowy colour, or a tungsten colour, which can sometimes register on your camera and show up really yellow. This is when you need to change your white balance setting to something more suitable. Figuring out exactly how to change your white balance setting is completely dependent on what camera make and model you've got. If this video doesn't help, then just go up onto trusty Google and search how to change your white balance and then whatever camera you've got, and it should be really easy once you've figured it out. But they do tend to be a little bit more hidden than your normal settings like shutter speed or aperture. For anyone with a camera similar to mine, which is a Nikon D750, this is exactly how I change the white balance on my camera. Although I bang on about being in manual mode for things like shutter speed, aperture and ISO, I do agree that auto white balance is super handy sometimes and generally works absolutely perfectly. I can shoot in auto all day and I have no issues with it. What this is doing is letting your camera decide exactly what colour temperature the light is on every picture you take, so it's working a little bit more like our eyes now. This can be especially useful if you're in situations where the colour is going to be changing quite a lot. Because our eyes don't really notice that change, you might not notice when, as you're taking images, the colour starts to change slightly. Situations like this could be when you're going inside and outside a lot, maybe a wedding, or if you're shooting with natural light and it's a cloudy day one second and a sunny day the next. Cloudy and sunny have very different colour temperatures. However, if you're shooting in auto and you feel like it doesn't look quite right, you might need to just go in and control it yourself. The colour temperature of flash for studios sits normally around daylight setting. Room lights are quite yellow and they are, on a Nikon, it's called incandescent. I put a little setup together so I can show you exactly what happens on our camera as we take a picture in all of the different settings. I'm using flash for this, so that's kind of sat in the middle at daylight. I'm going to show you exactly what each setting looks like with exactly the same lighting setup, just to give you an idea of exactly how the image changes with the different settings. So just remember, if your image is looking a little bit yellow, you want to add a bit more blue. So pick a setting here that looks quite blue, because daylight is sat in the middle. And the opposite side, if you think your image is looking a bit blue, you want to pick a setting here that's showing a bit more orangey, because these are opposite ends of the spectrum. So they're going to meet in the middle and make it nice and white. The best way to tell if your white balance is a bit off is try and get a photo of something that is definitely white. Obviously it's called white balance. The whites in an image are definitely going to pick up the colour changes a lot more noticeably. Another way to change the white balance setting on your camera, and a bit more of a fiddly one, is to change the Kelvin number. This is so you're manually choosing exactly what number the lighting is set on. So that's the K setting on my camera. The way I manually set my white balance is using a grey card. So if you've ever heard of a grey card before, it's generally a bit of grey card, or you can get kind of circly ones. I'll pop up some images of them here. And what these do is they show your camera something that is a definite grey, white or black. So you can use, I know on the Nikon you can use plain white as well. What this is doing is picking whatever light situation you're in and getting it exactly spot on. So this is the best way to get your white balance absolutely perfect. Just like with the settings for white balance, how you use a grey card is completely dependent on what make and model you've got. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it on mine, which is quite a fiddly way. It's different if you're using flash or just using natural light, but I'll show you both ways.
To set a custom white balance when using natural light, how you can have live view on and just click the white balance button. Turn the dial so it's on PRE, which stands for the preset, and then hold the white balance button down again until it starts flashing. When it starts flashing on the screen, it will also flash on the top screen. And then just get your grey card and place it in front of the lens so it's covering most of the picture. Then just click your shutter button. It won't take a picture, but it will record the colour. And you should see good flash up on your top screen. This is how we set a custom white balance when using natural light. If you're using flash, you're going to need to turn live view off and follow the same steps. So hold down WB until it flashes on the top screen. Place the card in front of the lens, but look through the viewfinder to make sure it's in the right spot, and then take a picture. As you can see here, with this one, the flash triggered and good will still appear on your top screen. Now you can see the live view is looking a bit green because it's set for flash, when obviously the room lights and modelling light are a bit more of an orangey light. But when I take the image, it comes up perfectly white.
For anybody with a Canon camera, I actually think it's a bit more simple. The ones that I've used, you'd take a picture of the grey card, trying to make it fill as much of the screen as possible, and then you'd go into the settings and select that image from like a custom white balance menu. Unfortunately, I don't have a Canon camera on me at the moment to show you guys, but again, just like with the how to set your white balance, if you do want to use a grey card, just go up on Google and find out exactly how to do it on your camera. So setting your custom white balance this way is the most accurate way of capturing the colour in light. So this is how I do it, because like I said, food photography, it's so important with food photography to get the colours spot on. You don't want your food looking blue or orange, you want it looking like it is. That's the only way someone's going to want to take a big bite out of it. Shooting custom white balance is especially useful if you're in a studio setup like I am, where the lighting is really going to change because the colour of the light is going to stay the same. You might see a slight difference if you're upping and lowering the power of your light. So make sure you've got your lighting exactly how you want it before you start using your grey card to capture that white balance. Another time this would be especially useful is if you're shooting on location, maybe in a restaurant, and you're using the natural light coming in from the window, but they've got the room lights on. This mixture of light might not have a perfect setting on the camera, but if you're using your grey card, you can mix all those lights together and make sure you're getting the exact Kelvin number that you need from using your grey card. I hope this video has been helpful, guys. I know getting the spot on white balance is maybe not something that's super fun, like a behind the scenes video, but if you stay tuned, next week's video is going to be another behind the scenes video and a few more tips for taking flat lay photography. If you do want to learn more about the settings on your camera, check out my manual mode playlist. So that goes through everything, so shutter speed, aperture and ISO. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye. Most accurate.